guys, welcome to this very special unboxing and first impressions of the my first headphone review slash content, which is the Hifiman HE400se. So this is my very first content about headphones, and I'm really excited to show you about it. So this is a very special unboxing, which you can see I am in frame because to show you the different aesthetic qualities of the HE400se, because this headphones is huge, so I wouldn't be able to give the size and the fit justice if I were just to show my hands up in the frame. So through this, with me in frame, you could also see the fit and how it generally looks on your head. So my first impressions of this for the build quality is it's very durable, because I've owned headphones in the past, but in this channel, Goji-Fi, so I mainly review IEM. So it's the first time I've reviewed headphones, but I've handled so many before. So comparing the HE400se to the different headphones that I've had, this is very nice because it has a very durable quality to it, and it has this one, the adjustment sliders, and the fork right over here is made of brushed metal, so it gives that heft to it and the quality material look. But the main can, so this one, the silver linings over here, it's made out of plastic, but it's a very durable plastic use. So I've noticed that it's very sturdy and doesn't feel very cheap. So that's points too. So the headphone, what do you call this? The cushion, it's made out of leather material over at the outside, but on the inside, which touches your ears, so it's made out of a velour material. So it's very comfy. That material touches your skin. So I prefer this because my skin does not like leather that much, because it retains heat from your face or when you use it. So I prefer this usage after all. And for the band, it's also made out of a very quality. I doubt that this is authentic leather, but the synthetic leather that is used in here is it's very high quality, and as you can see, it's very as if you're looking at it, and in person it's very comfy to use. So it's very soft, and it does not wear out on your head that much as compared to other cheap headphones out there. So for the fit, I'll try to fit it right into my head. So that's how it fits. So I'm a fairly medium to large built person, and this is how it fits over my head. So it does not assume too much in its aesthetics. So it isn't all bling and very attractive to the eyes, but it has its own style. And I've noticed that the Hifiman aesthetic it's pretty much this. So if you're getting the higher ended Hifiman headphones, so the general appearance and silhouette is basically the same. So yeah, so can you see here, I'll close up with the camera. And also it is to note that this is an open back headphone, so expect for the sound to bleed as much volume as you're hearing in the inside. So this isn't that recommendable for like everyday travel activities, or if you're expected in a place or if you're staying in a place that requires you to be quiet. So it'll bleed as much volume as you have in the inside. So that's the cons of the open back headphones. But on the other side, it'll produce you'll perceive a much more bigger sound stage, and I think it also helps with the treble because of the added air that's basically open for the headphones or the drivers to use. So for the drivers use, so this uses a planar magnetic. So as you can see here, so the lighting really helps with you seeing the planar driver. So this does not use the traditional dynamic driver that's used in headphones. So this is a planar dynamic headphone. So as you can see here, so it actually passes through your so if you see it in the light, if you're buying this, so this actually, those grills actually pass through. So you can see yourself. I don't know if you can see my hand over the planar magnetic headphones, but it'll pass through. So I said, so it's a completely open back headphones, and also planar magnetic tech, as I've seen in the Hifiman's website. So the planar drivers actually produce sound in both sides, so both in the inside and the outside. So expect as much sound bleeding from it. So yeah, that's my first impressions of the overall build and the drivers used. So for the sound, I've heard a lot of Hifiman headphones out there because of other people owning them or in stores. So for example, in Egghead over at Shangri-La here in the Philippines. So this really follows the classic sound, as you may, of the or in-house sound of Hifiman. So it's pretty, I would say it's pretty balanced all throughout, and it has that what they call the Hifiman drop in the frequency. So I might assume it's a deep dip in the upper mid-range frequency. So it kind of it's the patented or the signature Hifiman. See if you're familiar with the sound of Hifiman. So almost all Hifiman headphones use that same sound signature. So the Hifiman HE400se uses that same in-house tuning. So it's also to note that this 400se needs to be needs a dedicated amplifier or a really strong DAP to really push the drivers to its maximum level, because all planars, as if you're familiar with it, so they really require a power for them to reach their full potential. So don't get fooled by the low impedance numbers in the packaging. So if I'll take a look over at the box, so its impedance only lists at 25 ohms, but in reality it's really hard to drive. So you won't be able to drive this one on regular smartphones or in your lower ended or not that powered DAP. So you really require a amplifier or a strong DAP to really sound for you to have the proper sound of the 400se. So for the bass, it's really lean. So this really reminds me of not a Harman, but a Moondrop, like a VDSF sound in terms of bass, not the entire tonality of it. So it's lean, and it really focuses on the mid bass frequencies of the frequency spectrum. So you will expect that punch, but you don't really get the rumble or the body that is provided by the sub bass. So looking at the graphs of the 400se, so it really drops in the sub bass region. So if you're a bass head, the HE400se is definitely for you, because it's very lean in bass, and it's more of a surgical attack. So it decays and attacks quickly. So it's perfect for your like poppy music that's really light, or in acoustic music. But in like heavier music or EDM techno or dance music, so it won't really give you that strong bass that it requires. So like stuff like Michael Jackson or Skrillex, that's really rhythm driven by the bass drum, so it wouldn't really give you that ample punch to it or rumble to really drive that kicks forward. So but if you're used to like a balance and very lean and not that very lean, but it's a leaner quality to bass, so the Hifiman 400se is definitely a headphone for you. So for the mids, it's one of the greatest things about this one because it really resolves and retrieves that every bit of detail and quality that every instrument and vocals. So I wouldn't say it as a vocal forward headphone, but it's probably in the middle of the levels when I say it's very lush or vocal forward and the very transparent mids, but it's very lean. So it kind of straddles the line between that two qualities. So it's a perfect mix for me in terms of how it doesn't get overly rich or overly thick, but it doesn't get too lean. So every male and female vocals are rendered very beautifully, but it kind of leans on the female vocals because the leaner or the leaner quality of the bass. So as you expect from male vocals, so the male vocals sometimes need that bassy tonalities so that their voices can be richer or more pronounced. So don't get me wrong, male vocals actually are very good in this one, but there's a slight bias in the female side of vocals because it's the female voice or when females sing, so their register is along the side wherein the Hifiman 400s is really good at. So expect that. So for both instruments, both lower and higher, the same principle applies in lower and higher instruments such as the violins and tubas and all that. So for the treble, this might seem the deal breaker between people because planar magnetic text. So as you expect from planar headphones, so it has that planar sheen or the planar texture that that this only can be described if you actually listen to planar magnetic tech headphones like this one or IEM, such as the recent KZ-PR1 or the Moondrop Stellaris. So if you have listened to that headphone, so you can be more familiar with the what I'm saying about the planar sheen. So this being a planar headphone, so it has that planar sheen. So it's up to you if you prefer that planar sheen or not. So the treble is really well extended in the HE400se. So this kind of leans more on the bodier or the swish amount of treble rather than the sparkle. So the sparkle is mainly carried throughout the extension and the additional air that the open back styling that is being provided here. But on the concentration for the treble, so it's much of a swishy quality to it than the shimmering kind of quality. So the HE400se focuses on the treble body more than the others. So I think that's what people describe as the Hifiman curve or the Hifiman drop in the upper mids to lower treble. So I think that's what I'm hearing about here. So also in the treble, so you'll be noticing mostly sibilance or in sibilance or that harshness if you do not drive these boys properly. So you really need that amp quality, that amp warmness and push to really make use of the nice treble that this has. So if you use underpowered devices, so you'll notice more the harshness. I wouldn't say it as harshness, but it's more of a in or irregularities in the treble if you underpower this voice. So it's almost required that you have a high powered DAP or an amplifier to run this voice. So I've used honestly do not have a very powerful amplifier up in my collection, but I have the Questel M15 and the FIO M3 FIO X3 Mark III. So both drive this pretty well, but I think it's about the those two devices that I mentioned push this to the 90 to 95% of its sound. So it really needs that amp to really push it to the 100%. But I'm really happy with what I'm hearing with the 95% of what this is capable of. So in that matter, that 95%, so my DAP, which is the FIO X3 Mark III, really needs the volume to be really pushed up high. So I use like 110 or 120 volume on high gain on this for it to really work. And on the Questel M15, so I've used the high gain, and on my PC I've used like 80 to 90% of the sound on high gains to really drive this voice to its serviceable, or its quality of it that can be serviceable, or that can be driven to its 95% of its potential. Yeah, that's for the soundstage and imaging. So it's one of the properties that's also really commendable in the Hifiman, especially in the imaging. So the soundstage, even if it's an open back headphone, so compared to other headphones that I've tried, it's much more of a intimate quality to it. So both vocals and instruments, all the instruments in the spectrum are rendered not that super close like cheap headphones, but it's rendered closer than what usual open back headphones have. So I wouldn't complain that much because of its affordable price in terms of high quality headphones. But in spite of that closer presentation to your head, so the imaging is quite it's miraculous almost for this for the price range it comes at. So I've tried other kilobuck upper headphones up in the past, and this almost can be on par with them in terms of imaging. So I think this is the result of the planar magnetic tech that Hifiman used for this. So it's really great. It's very commendable what Hifiman can do at this price range in terms of high quality headphones. Yeah, that's my first impressions of the HE400se. So I'll see if I'll be publishing if this my schedule and my backlog allows me to produce a full video of this. But I think my first impressions pretty much describe the general sound of this HE400se. So yeah, that's my first impressions and unboxing of the Hifiman. Hifiman HE400se. So sorry for the wetter marks up here. So it's kind of drizzling up in where I'm staying. So that's my first impressions of the Hifiman HE400se. So I hope. Sorry for that bloopers up there. So yeah, thank you, and Goji out.